Alright guys, here we go. We have round 2 of Team AFK versus Team Winged Walruses. So AFK consists of Valinor in the striker and Akroz in the helix, and Winged Walruses is Broadside in the striker and Tangibility in the helix. So this time we have the map Sandrim, and once again, the Carbon team was able to grab round 1 of this game, of this matchup, I should say, and so they are looking to try and get a sweep. There are 3 games in this match that I have picked out, and so the Carbon team looks like they're going straight for this bottom outpost. Tangibility is actually able to use rockets to kill one of those neutral brutes before the pregame timer went off, and the blue team is doing the same. They are using some jokers and Gemini to quickly neutralize that outpost, and Valinor is actually doing some flamer harass, but he does get chased away by Tangibility, but Tangibility does run out of energy before he is able to kill Valinor, and so now both teams do have their close outposts, and now the blue team is actually ferrying tanks to this island, and they are now ferrying them over to the mid, so they now have 2 tanks at the mid, as well as 4 flamers that Akroz just brought over, so they are trying to kill the neutral brutes there, as well as the neutral T-99, so 2 flamers do go down, and 1 tank is smoking. Valinor doing some more flamer harass, but Broadside quickly cleans that up, and the Carbon team is actually going for this bottom corner outpost that is a neutral outpost. This is very uncommon strategy. Usually it's a hard fight for mid, but blue team was able to take this middle outpost without any contest from the Carbon team, because the Carbon team is going hard for this bottom left neutral outpost, and they are actually able to take that just after the blue team takes this outpost. Tangibility now trying to kill a unit or 2, but is not able to because Valinor does micro that unit away. Valinor now does see that the Carbon team has taken this outpost and almost goes down, but is able to get back to his outpost before Tangibility can follow him. And Akroz now patrolling some jokers at this Carbon outpost, but is not able to kill any units, and there is a lunchbox shield on this base, so no damage will go down, but Tangibility is distracted for quite some time, and that gives Akroz time to use some more patrolling jokers to try and neutralize his outpost. He does snipe 1 Dillo and a Moneymaker and does level up, but I don't think he will be able to make it out of here with Tangibility as a helix shooting those rockets at him. But he might be able to actually neutralize that outpost, but no. But he does go down, but Valinor swoops in to get that neutralized, and so this outpost is neutralized. There's still some patrolling jokers, though they're so hard to kill on the ground as mechs. And but there are now some Carbon creeps coming in for the Carbon team. And Akroz coming with some jokers, yes. But Broadside does catch him on the way to the Carbon base, and he is able to use his sword and slash those and kill them all very quickly, because those were just set on Y, and very little damage does go down because there is a lunchbox shield once again. But now the blue team is trying to neutralize this outpost. They are able to kill 1 or 2 Dillos here before the Carbon team can react, and they have killed 1 creep in this outpost. But the Carbon team still has control of this outpost, and Tangibility actually doing some joker drops at the blue team's base. So jokers are being really highly used. Jokers have a really good piercing, so against base corners or the base in general, they can do a lot of damage because there is reduced armor on the base's corners. And so now Tangi has been able to kill all of those units. That would be a great time if you had Necros to necro all of these neutral units, but they are using fixers instead to get that credit income. And Akroz does not escape from that. Tangibility does kill him on the way out. He was doing some more joker drops here, but they do place some Dillos to kill those, although there has been a little bit of damage that has gone down. And I missed this, but the blue team was able to neutralize and kill all the neutrals here and take this top outpost. So now the blue team does have map control, as you can see, and Akroz is now pushing out all of these tanks and seekers that he had here. But Tangibility is bombing, so he does have bombs, and he has quite a few tanks in here. He almost does go down to those seekers, but they might be able to clean up this push if they can keep their units alive and continually bomb, as Tangibility is doing. He now does drop and use his rockets, and Broadside does the same thing. So now there are very few units left here for this push, and we really need some fixers to salvage all of that salvage. And the blue team did also push up some creeps as well as jokers, but bombs coming out for Tangi, a great way to a counter for jokers. And look at all of the jokers that went down there to that bombing run. So all of that joker threat was quickly neutralized by bombs. So if you guys ever facing bombs, you should definitely, or if you are ever facing jokers, you should definitely use bombs. And Akroz did go down there to Broadside a little while ago while he was trying to clean up some of the carbon units, and so now Tangibility is counter pushing towards this top right outpost with these jokers, and he's using his Helix rockets to try and kill off these units. He does snipe 3 Gemini, and or almost 3 Gemini. That one is really smoking. But both blue team members do come back to respond to this and pull out some tanks and seekers. And so, but Valinor actually does go down because all of that outpost energy was drained, and Broadside came in with his Helix striker and was able to finish off Valinor before that energy could come back. I don't know. Regenerate the outpost energy, and some jokers put on Y that Valinor quickly responds to with a Gemini of his own, and now some boxers actually coming out. Really interesting gameplay here. Boxers actually coming out that doesn't look like there was anything in them, however, but it was a good distraction against the blue team, I guess. And Akroz is now putting a Longhorn on Y and is trying to snipe a Moneymaker, and actually does kill it. Oh no, does not kill it off before he has to run away. And Broadside doing some more Joker harass. Jokers, jokers, jokers is the theme of this game on Sandrim. Tangibility sniping some units with his Helix rockets before Valinor is able to respond. Because this map is so big, it's really hard to respond to all the threats you see. You really have to use your minimap awareness and try to respond as quickly as you can, but it is hard. And Tangibility trying to use his ground-to-ground rockets ability to snipe a Gemini, but Valinor was right there to quickly save that. And Tangibility now going for some more harass, and does kill that Moneymaker before Valinor can grab it. And Broadside might go down here. He's now being double teamed with the Helix and Striker, and he does go down to Akroz with those Helix rockets. But that gives Tangi time to kill a tank with his rockets, and probably will be able to take this one before Valinor does, and yes, he is able to kill that unit. So Tangi doing a great job of trying to keep that credit income in their favor, even though they do not have map control, by sniping some of these units that he is, as well as lots of moneymakers. So it now looks like the Carbon team will try to do a push either across this sort of land bridge to this top outpost of blues, or they will just push on T towards this top right outpost. So, and it looks like they are going across the land bridge. So Valinor does see this, and he probably will tell Akroz. And Akroz trying to do a fortress track so the Carbon team can't support their push, but has trouble dropping it. And Tangi quickly responds with his mech, and it is now dead. And Broadside actually using that push as a distraction to try and neutralize this top right outpost with his artillery, and Valinor in the meantime is supporting his push, and he is able to neutralize that outpost with all of these tanks, and there are not a lot of blue tanks left here. Blue team didn't get a good defense off. They didn't have quite enough time to realize, because that push was erected so quickly, and so now Carbon team does have a surround of tanks, but they were all smoking, and Valinor in his Lexi Striker high level is able to kill all of these tanks here, and the Carbon team is not yet able to grab this outpost under their control. However, they now do, but all of the tanks are dead, and Valinor is here with some flamers to try and neutralize it, but this top right outpost has been also neutralized by all of this artillery that Broadside put down, and some of these jokers that were sent on T. And so now the Carbon team has totally flipped control of the map, because they have been able to take this top outpost and this top right outpost as soon as that tank is dead and these creeps walk in. So now the Carbon team has a definitive control of the map, but in the meantime a giant longhorn push from this top bottom outpost. Wow, I am really bad at seeing my own map. The blue team was able to take this bottom outpost. That is why the map control is not so crazy. So while all of this carbon pushing was going on, the blue team was pushing on its own all of this longhorn. Look at this surround on this bottom outpost. So now the map control is even, and there are a lot of tanks going towards this base, and there are not a lot of tanks for the carbon team. So they might actually be able to get a lot of damage off if they can micro effectively, which they are. But these two Lexis are able to kill all of those units before really any damage goes down. And the Carbon team actually did push out all of their top units once they saw that all of these blue units came. And but this was also shut down by the blue team. So now blue team just needs one more creep to take control of this top outpost. So they are still in map control because they have been also able to take this bottom outpost. And they have a huge surround of tanks. So neither team using a tech pod. I haven't seen one out on the field. And obviously the Carbon team doesn't have any tech units, so they can't even build a tech if they wanted to. But the blue team does, so they are really wasting 4 of their unit slots because they haven't built a single tech. So the Carbon team really has a better composition of units for this type of play on this map. And Broadside now bringing out some generators, even though they aren't really unit capped at all. But just better to be safe than sorry. But now a giant tank push is coming out for the blue team, and I don't know if Carbon will be able to stop this. There aren't that many tanks here. Tangibility is trying to snipe some of these starting units at the head of this push, but and he is also bombing. But there's so many tanks here. All the members of each team are here. Broadside trying to slash with his sword, but does go down to all of these Longhorn and Gemini here. And I don't know if the Carbon team will be able to survive this. They really have to get good blocking off with these tanks, but there really are no tanks left for this. If Tangi can bomb, maybe, but he doesn't have enough bombs in his queue, and it just takes so long for them to build. And Valinor and Broadside are down, but it looks like blue team will be able to take this over Angry Walruses on Sandrim, and so it is now 1-1 in the best of 3 that I have for you here. And I have to say thanks to Areyouwhy for sending me these replays. These are really good games. I am trying to help him out because he was so busy with this tournament that these teams were practicing for, and so these were 2 really great games. So we'll see who becomes the victor after the 3rd, but the team AFK of Valinor and Akroz were able to take this 2v2 over the Carbon team. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you later.